Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. We already had an earlier report that the APC governors and the APC lawmakers had a battle of words, and it was because of the invitation extended to the president to come to the floor of the house to explain to the joint session of lawmakers what is happening with security and other issues. But you know that the governors came up and were talking about the president, that they should not allow such to happen, that it would be a way of, number one, giving a chance to the PDP lawmakers to embarrass the president, and I seem not to understand what that really means. And they also talked about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, they didn't really reach a consensus. But with what Malami has just done now, because that's the next report I'm about to tell you, I'm about to read out to you, what Malami has just done now is a clear indication that come tomorrow, the president may not honor the invitation of the lawmakers. Let's just listen to what he has to say about the invitation extended to the president by the lawmakers. And according to the news, Abubakar Malami, who is the Attorney General of the Federation, says the National Assembly has no constitutional right to summon President Muhammadu Buhari. We forget that last week the House of Representatives passed a resolution summoning the president over the rising insecurity in the country. The president is scheduled to appear before the National Assembly on Thursday, but it is now uncertain if he will honor the request. In a statement on Wednesday, Malami said it was outside the constitutional rights powers of the National Assembly to summon the president over his operational use of the armed forces. President Muhammadu Buhari of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has recorded tremendous success in containing the hitherto incessant bombing, colossal killing, wanton destruction of lives and property that bedeviled the country before attaining the aim of our face of the country in 2015. The statement read, "The confidentiality of strategies employed by the president as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not open for public exposure in view of security implication in the probable undermining of the war against terror. The fact that President Muhammadu Buhari was instrumental to the reclaiming of over 14 local government area previously controlled by insurgents in Northeast is an open secret. The strategies for such achievement are not open for public expose." While condoling the bereaved and sympathizing with the victims of the associated insecurity in the country, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, the senior advocate of Nigeria, maintained that national security is not about publicity and the nation's security architecture cannot be exposed for the sake of getting publicity. According to the statement, the president's efforts on security matters are exclusive and confidential, and as such, the National Assembly has no constitutional power to envisage or contemplate a situation where the president would be summoned by the National Assembly on operational use of the armed forces. Malami added that the decision to appear before the National Assembly should be at the president's discretion and not subject to the summon by the lawmakers. The right of the president to engage the National Assembly and appear before it is inherently discretional in the president and not at the behest of the National Assembly, the Attorney General said. The management and control of security sector is exclusively vested in the president by Section 218, Subsection 1 of the Constitution as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, including the power to determine the operational use of the armed forces. An invitation that seeks to put the operational use of the armed forces to a public interrogation is indeed taking the constitutional right of lawmaking before bounds. As the Commander-in-Chief, the President has exclusivity on security and has confidentiality over security. These powers and rights he does not share. So, by summoning the president on national security operational matters, the House of Representatives operated outside the constitutional bounds. President's exclusivity of constitutional confidentiality investiture within the context of the Constitution remains sacrosanct. Those were the words of Malami, who is the Minister of Justice and also the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, a lot of people had said before now that the way things are going, the president may likely not appear. Don't forget that I've already shared a story with you about what happened yesterday. So all this storytelling and all of that, why is it coming as at a day to the president appearing before the lawmakers? The lawmakers or the president has given into this. Before he gave into it, why didn't you come out to speak on behalf? I mean, the whole thing, I don't seem to understand it. No matter what anybody will say, we have to understand one thing, that the lawmakers are meant to work as, watchdogs over the legislature. That's the check and balances that we must see in democracy. This one is checking this one, and this one is checking this one. That's how it should be. But unfortunately, what we are seeing here clearly shows that the president can do and undo, and nobody has the power to summon him to explain. Now, he's talking about confidentiality of the ex-party of security, you understand? Talking about possibly the strategies that the president may have adopted to fight terrorism in Nigeria or, insurgency in Nigeria. But Nigerians are not asking for that. Nigerians want you to tell us what is the way out. Is there any hope? That is, I think that's what the lawmakers want to know. What's your timeline in terms of delivering on this, your promise that you gave to Nigerians? What's the timeline? Are you going to deliver as I'd expected, or should we just forget about it and possibly continue to run away from our homes? Some people, he talked about that 14 local government that was taken over by the insurgent have been recovered and all of that. But let's be so real. The level of mayhem we are seeing on a daily basis is increasing sporadically. You understand? Though Professor Zolom, the governor of Borno State, told Nigerians that it's better off than now, despite the fact that every day he has never been threatened. Neither had any governor of Borno State been ever threatened in their way to anywhere by the insurgent. But he's the first. But despite all the threats that he has received from these hoodlums, from this insurgent, he still says that the president has done better, that the security in Borno State is far, far better. So it's really shocking. But for me, the big question I keep asking, why did the president accept at first? Why did he even accept that he was going to appear? Because right now, Nigerians were really, really waiting to hear what the president have to say. And as I did say before now, the reason why all this summoning and checks and balances are coming up is because the president, despite whatever that is happening in the country, he has always refused to have a press conference to explain to the people how he feels about it and what step has been taken to correct these things. I'm talking about a press conference, very difficult. And I think that is why we are seeing these people act that way. But let's just look at what Nigerians have to say, because a lot has happened. Don't forget that during the period the governors met with the lawmaker as at yesterday evening, the meeting lasted till midnight. If you listen to our previous news, you're going to see all of that. The meeting lasted till midnight. When they met, according to the info, the source that provided this news, it says that Ahmed Lawan was actually supporting the governor, that the president shouldn't appear, so that they won't embarrass him. You can imagine. What kind of embarrassment are you talking about here? They are throwing question at someone who had taken responsibility to be the overall of a country. And they are throwing questions at you. Someone is saying they are going to embarrass him. I don't understand. So what's the need of sitting in that position? If you feel that you're not capable, then you step aside. But when you went there, it was an indication that you have accepted the role of a servant to Nigerians. Chief servant to Nigerians. If anything goes wrong, Nigerians have the right to ask you. So what's the embarrassment there? Put yourself together and make sure you answer your questions. But they are scared, I don't know why they are scared. Nigerian says here, this one says, Robert Stam, Lawan and Femi will be calling now to apologize that it was all a mistake. It's Saraki that sent them. Another one here saying, Senate claims where there is rule of law, the parliament is the most powerful arm of government. This one says, but Nigeria is not practicing parliamentary system of government. We are practicing presidential system of government. The president cannot be summoned by the National Assembly. They can only request an audience from the president to seek clarity. And this one saying, nobody have the right to order Mr. President around. He is too busy. So the federal government will visit him for dinner. Oh, this one says President Muhammadu Buhari was invited by NAS as C&C based on insecurity situation in Nigeria. I don't see anything bad in coming to clear Nigerians through NAS. Must Malami play politics with everything, even when innocent Nigerians' lives are involved? Another one says here, he was not invited but summoned. Don't allow the National Assembly use your brain. They never wanted him there, so they use the word summon, which is not legally accepted in our presidential system of government. Wow, a lot of things. This one says section 88, subsection 1A and 2B empowers NAS to conduct investigation on security-related matters to expose inefficiency in the execution of security matters because security is an item on the exclusive legislative list. Malami should look for another profession. This person even went as far as screenshotting the part of the Constitution that empowers the legislature to investigate issues of insecurity. Wow. This is a great work. I tell you the truth. You know, that's what we are always talking about. These guys just believe that Nigerians do not really, we fail to read our Constitution and they can come in and tell us whatever they want to tell us. This one says we can as well kiss this democracy goodbye if NAS cannot summon our president. The president is answerable to the citizens through our elected representative. One of the reasons why he must bow for the reps and senator when he is in hallowed chambers. This one said, certainly they have the power to commence impeachment processes. This arrogance and stupidity needs to stop. We see how it goes. A lot of comments coming in from Nigeria, but I'd like to stop there. Just go to our comment section. Let's interact. What do you have to say about the sudden shift, in the invitation stuff? The president may not be talking to us